not only our Muslim communities, but African communities, Asian communities, Hispanic communities, and the wave still continues. It's not going to stop, nor should we want it to stop. As a matter of fact, it's one of the things I think we can be most proud of. So there's a second thing in that black box, an unrelenting stream of immigration, non-stop. Folks like me who were Caucasian of European descent, for the first time in 2017, will be in an absolute minority in the United States of America. Absolute minority. Fewer than 50% of the people in America, from then and on, will be white European stock. That's not a bad thing. That's a source of our strength. And secondly, we're in a situation where we have put together, and you guys did it for our the President Obama's administration before this. We have put together, I think, the most extensive and inclusive voter fraud organization in the history of American politics.
Today there's 6.5 million Jews.
And soon they're going to be by what, 20 million by?
There'll be 20 million in about 50 years. There you go, okay.
How many?
70 million, 80 million.
Oh, so many million.
90 million, 100 million.
I find myself gripped by a sudden realization that unlike these good Jewish people, I have nowhere to run. Brits don't have an Israel.
Who is in trouble? I am not in trouble. No. Katie, you are in trouble. And you are in a big trouble because you are not safe and we are much more safely than you. You understand?
I do, and this morning, before I left here, I was specifically talking about this idea that I look around Israel and you can feel it, even as someone who's not a Jew. I feel this sense of belonging, the fact that people feel that they're home, that this is their place. And I got to wondering to myself, okay, but when I need to leave, when my family needs to go, when I want to take my children out, I haven't got a place. And my country, I'm already a minority in many of my cities. And why do I feel like such a lonely voice sometimes? Why are people told that what I'm saying is wrong, or simply isn't true, or try to deny it as something that was only said by the right?
Dans tous les pays d'Europe, de toute façon, c'est pas l'Angleterre, c'est pas propre à la France. Tous les pays d'Europe, ils sont gangrénés par ça. C'est fini. On ne pourra plus avoir le pouvoir. Enfin, je ne pense pas que l'Europe pourra avoir le pouvoir de refaire autre chose. C'est trop tard. Elle a trop donné.
As I look to return to my family in the UK, I pondered our definition of homes. What is home? You can really feel it here. A real sense of belonging, living without fear, surrounded by faces you recognise and in a community you can trust. I find myself gripped by a sudden realization that unlike these good Jewish people, I have nowhere to run.
Who is in trouble? I am not in trouble. No. Katie, you are in trouble. And you are in a big trouble because you are not safe and we are much more safely than you. You understand?
Welcome to Savile Town in England. This is a little town in West Yorkshire that has a big story to tell. Out of the 4,000 residents here in this town, just 40 of them are white Brits, less than 1%. Since my cameraman and I arrived here, we now represent 5% of our community, and I want to know what happened to diversity here. How does it feel to be the odd one out? And what exactly does this place say about the future of white Britons in the UK? Can I ask you a question? We're asking people what it's like to live in Yorkshire. We went to Savile Town where it's like 97% Muslim. What's going on?
Well, it's been like this for years, hasn't it? Islamification everywhere.
I don't understand what happens though, whether we all just clear out. Is that what the plan is?
Well, it looks that way, doesn't it? They try and beat you down with that all the time, far right, you know, and it's not the case. I mean, like people like me, just working class English people, you just feel like a second-class citizen.
That's a
Savile Town's
no-go
different.
area for a white person.
Savile Town is a no-go area.
No-go area for a white person. Honestly, it really is. So I
Just don't go.
just don't go anywhere near Savile Town.
It seems ideas of integration are also a thing of the past, and the future is not on the side of white Brits. Here in Savile Town, births to Muslim parents easily outnumber any other, but you know, Savile Town isn't an anomaly. It's true of the UK as a whole too. In the London borough of Tower Hamlets, 62% of children are Muslims, and in fact by 2035, Muslim births will outnumber births to any other religion. We truly are being outnumbered.
Whites are already a minority in Bradford and Luton and Leicester. They will be in Birmingham too by 2020. 25% of the population in Birmingham is actually from Pakistan or Bangladesh. And it's something, you know, the multicultural mafia just don't want to talk about. They don't want to talk about the problem that whites are now a minority in many of our towns and cities. And actually, is it any wonder that people whose relatives lived here, died here, are actually leaving this place, looking for a new place to call home?
Janice sat down with two fellow MEPs in the European Parliament to get a European perspective on the problems faced in the UK.
What about the cultural side of this? So, you know, basically we're a Judeo-Christian country.
We have a lot of Muslims association rising in Italy, organizing themselves because they are increasing in numbers, so they are able to organize and putting pressure on local administration to have their rights, so to build up mosques, to have money to finance their activities. And we are going to have also in the local administration groups of Muslims organizing for participating in the votes as Muslims association and party. And this is a huge problem.
Aujourd'hui, on voit bien que les nations européennes subissent une immigration qui a un caractère massif et un caractère anarchique. Massif parce que c'est une immigration qui est ininterrompue depuis des décennies, et anarchique parce qu'à aucun moment les pouvoirs publics, c'est le cas en France mais c'est le cas également en Grande-Bretagne, n'ont eu une vraie volonté d'arrêter cette immigration massive dont les conséquences sur notre identité, sur notre sécurité, sur nos libertés, sur notre économie ont été absolument désastreuses. Et évidemment, il y a beaucoup de Françaises et de Français, comme je pense il y a beaucoup de Britanniques qui fuient les endroits où la concentration de personnes immigrées ou d'origine immigrée est telle qu'ils ont le sentiment de ne plus reconnaître leur propre pays.
I hear this over and over. People don't recognise their country anymore. The shops are Arabic, mosques are everywhere, and the first language in many of our schools is no longer English. Leaving a frankly depressing Savile Town, I wanted to speak to another isolated community, increasingly the target of hate.
Here in Paris, France, the Jewish community are on the move, victims of a surge in anti-Semitism here, living in the shadows of a rapidly increasing Muslim population. Many feel unable to live openly as Jews, even in their own community. There are huge changes afoot here, barely perceptible to outsiders, but population shifts are underway. Jews are moving out of this city, in fact out of this country, looking for a new place to call home.
The face of this place is changing. Jews are on the move. All this Frenchness feels like a facade. The dark truth here is that Islam is gaining ground. Muslims are winning this silent war, and fast.
Who is in trouble? I am not in trouble. No. Katie, you are in trouble. And you are in a big trouble because you are not safe and we are much more safely than you.
Le problème, parce que souvent, moi je parlais à des amies françaises, quand il y a eu les problèmes et tout, je leur ai dit de toute façon, moi un jour ou l'autre je partirai en Israël. Et ils me disaient ça, ils me disaient, toi tu as de la chance. Tu as un pays, moi je ne sais pas où aller. Et ça c'est très grave, vous vous rendez compte, c'est-à-dire que les pauvres ils ont un pays où ils ne sont pas chez eux. Nous, on a encore la possibilité de dire « Bon, ça ne va pas en France, je vais en Israël. » Mais eux, ils vont où? Et c'est vrai, vous allez où?
C'est une question qui n'ont pas de solution.
Non, non, bien sûr qu'il n'y a pas de solution.
And this lovely couple fear for their grandchildren and know it is not a matter of if, but when they have to come.
We made the move to show them that they can make the move as well. It's possible. It's possible to do it. We know it's more difficult for them than it is for us, but we deeply think there is no future for them in Europe. And we talk with them, they don't want to leave, they're very French, and so are the grandchildren, but both daughters tell us, we know that we'll have to leave someday, and we might have to do it fast.
Back here in my home city of London, where whites are a minority, I completely understand how the people of Savile feel pushed out from within. I think about the conversations in Paris of Jews called Dirty Jew in the street of the suburbs where the Islamists are in control. And it makes me smile to think of the people in Israel, how they have found their place, but they give this kind of stark warning not to leave it too late. I suppose there's one big thought that's remained with me, and it's that we don't have an Israel. I don't have a place to run to. And I wonder, where is it that you will go when you need to find a new place to call home?